You. I'm
Nice
Burcu,
to
and
meet you too.
would you like to talk about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Nachi. I know Turksha because of Dilek. She was the one who introduced me to this community. I'm from Brazil originally, and I lived in Seattle for almost 5 years. I went there to be an au pair, and
Oh,
then
wow.
yeah, and then I met my husband there. He's not American too, so we both met in the United States, and we've been living here since then. Um, and then after I lived in Seattle for a few years, we decided to move to Hawaii. So we lived a
Wow.
couple of years in Hawaii, and we started traveling. We are both digital nomads, so we work from our computers. And then in 2019, we started building a self-converted van, and now we are traveling the United States. We started our travel right when the pandemic was happening, so it's been a very interesting experience.
Yeah,
We are finding ourselves a lot in nature, and it's been very healing and positive for us.
that's great. Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
interesting. A lot of people are stuck at homes, and you're the opposite right now, just going
yeah,
in nature. It's beautiful.
exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And what else? I study psychology, and I have a very deep passion for human behavior and understanding what is going on inside our heads.
Wow,
And
wonderful.
yeah, and it was in this path that I found meditation. So yeah, it's a practice that I really love, and I've been practicing since 2016, 15.
Oh, so yeah, I'll prepare a few questions.
Mhm.
Thanks to your help as well.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So, what do you think? What's your relationship with meditation? How do you relate to meditation? Can you explain us?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so as I was telling before, I study psychology, so I always had this passion to understand the mind and, just see what was out there. So I started kind of having the first contact with meditation when I moved to the United States. I lived with a host family, so they received me, and I was doing an internship. And the mom, she loved yoga. So she
Mm.
started giving me all these books about yoga and the poses, and I would go with her to a studio and practice. So that was my first contact. I remember there's this pose in yoga that by the end of the class you lay down and they call it Shavasana, is the corpse pose. So you just lay down there in silence for a few minutes, just feeling your body. And I remember having the sensation like, oh, it feels so good. It just feels really good. I feel really relaxed right now. What is this? So
Mhm.
this was kind of my first contact with meditation. And then I remember my husband, which was my boyfriend at the time, telling me to download some apps and start doing 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and it was really great. But I think I really started diving more deeply into meditation when my father-in-law passed, and then I felt, this really different feeling because we've never have lost anyone so close to us, and I started trying to find places where I could feel comfort and understanding better what was happening, and I went to some churches, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. And then I found a meditation center, and it was like a house that they converted into the center. So they had open rooms, and every Sunday they would have an open house so everyone could just go sit together in silence and meditate. And in the end, we would read some book, like some paragraphs, and discuss together what that meant and how we could introduce those thoughts in our lives. And it was really good. It felt really good at that moment. And then I started studying more, learning what I could do to really feel the full potency of meditation in my life. And then when I was in Hawaii in 2018, I did my first retreat. It was a 10-day course of silence and meditation where I was meditating 10 hours a day in silence,
Wow.
not talking to anyone. And it was deeply, deeply profound. And I left that retreat feeling a peace inside myself that I've never felt before. And I was, wow, okay, now I understand what meditation can do for people. And then since then, I think I've been on and off,
Mhm.
but I feel that slowly my practice getting stronger and stronger, and I can feel many benefits. And now, like, I really tell people, please meditate. It's really good for you, and it's very simple, but very, very profound.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's a great, wonderful story. Just,
Yeah.
yeah. And I can't imagine 10 hours silent meditation. I guess you have to work your way up there.
Yeah,
Start
it's
somewhere.
painful. In the beginning, it's very painful. You feel
Mm-hmm.
the pain just to be sitting all those hours, your body aches. But it's
Mm-hmm.
really, really beautiful because they teach you how to feel the pain without increasing it. And I found this a very deep learning, to life, because sometimes we are in pain or we are scared and we make it bigger because we start having these storylines in our heads. Oh, what is this? It's getting worse, it's getting better. Oh, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
feeling well. And what that kind of meditation teaches you is to look to the pain just as it is. For example, if my knee is hurting, where is the point of more intense pain? Where it starts to, fade out until where like it goes through my entire leg? No, it's just the knee. And then you start observing those things and you realize that you are not in that high anxiety mode anymore. You are just experiencing pain. And that's a very human feeling. Everyone feels that. And
Mm-hmm.
if we don't escape from it, it actually decreases. So it's really beautiful to understand how our minds can, just change the perspective and start feeling the thing, whatever it is, just what it is, not making it bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it makes sense. Yeah.
Makes
Does
sense.
it
I
make
mean,
sense?
makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. Hopefully makes sense to everyone. At least to me. Yeah. I felt like
Yeah.
sometimes if I observe the pain, it actually lessens. If I try to annoy, it's like, oh, it has to go away. It has to go away. It actually increases. So I
Yeah.
feel the same. I'm not sure it makes sense to everyone, but it's I think something needs everyone needs to experience themselves to be able to
Yeah.
tell what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really amazing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the pandemic has been tough on everyone. So do you have what do you think about how it's affecting our lives? How can meditation help during this tough time? Is it?
Yeah, I think this is like a big question, right? And I do feel that meditation can help us in any moment of our lives, but especially in the moments that we feel more anxious, more nervous, that we are in fear. I don't know. I think a lot of people are having many different experiences with the pandemic. But for example, let me ask you back,
Mhm.
how is it being for you? How are you experiencing the pandemic?
Yeah, just staying home all the time, almost all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
the old social life is gone, and I don't even know when it's gonna be back ever,
Mm-hmm.
or it's a big unknown. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be traveling to visit my family back in Turkey, I'm not exactly sure. That's a lot of unknowns
Mm-hmm.
for the
Mm-hmm.
future. It used to be much going like this. I guess all of a sudden we had a crack in our lives, and
Yeah.
it's hard to reconcile in my mind at least. So it's
Yeah.
been it's been interesting,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm trying not to
Yeah.
let the anxiety get the best of me, but yeah, there is definitely a
Yeah.
future unknown, big unknown.
Yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's nice to hear what you are experiencing because I feel that this is pretty much in different levels and in different ways. What people are experiencing in general, right? We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Every time the news give us different information about when this things is going to get better, and then the vaccine is here, but then it's not for everyone. We
Yeah.
don't know how long it's going to take, and then we have to use mask everywhere, and then it's just this feeling of not knowing the unknown, right? And this is a thing that Buddhist practice, because meditation comes from a Buddhist tradition, but today, like, you don't need to be a Buddhist or have any connection with the the religion to practice the technique. And even when I did this retreat, they had like a Buddhist foundation, but they were teaching the technique. So this is a technique, is a tool that you can use. And one thing, that one concept that is a foundation of meditation is to understand that everything is impermanent. So the sense of unknown that you were describing is what we experience all the time,
Hmm.
even when we were not experiencing this pandemic um, rise, right? But what the pandemic made us understand and see more clearly, that we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. We have no idea, and we will never have, because things just changes and it's out of our control. So meditation, one of the pillars, the foundation, is this deep understanding that we are not in control of what is going on outside ourselves. So the only thing we can do to live this life in a more peaceful way is understanding what is going on inside ourselves. And in order to do that, we have to silence, and we have to focus on something that is very basic, that is our senses, what we are hearing, what we are smelling, what we are tasting. And this brings us back to the present moment. And that's what they tell us, that is the only thing we ever will have in life, is the present. We cannot do anything in the future because we are not there yet. And the past is the past. So we can act in the present, and we are in control of our actions in the present moment. And I feel that in this pandemic time, this sense, this understanding can bring us back to a calm state, to a
Hmm.
less anxiety mode, into the things that we have to do. And I think sitting for 10, 20, an hour, a day, you can really start practicing what this means in life, because we are so distracted all the time. We are seeking for confirmation, for validation, for attention all the time, right? When we open our cell phones, and we are on Instagram trying to see, oh, people like me, they don't like me, are they here for me? Because we are feeling so alone, right? We are inside our homes, and this is the only thing we have to communicate with each other. But then we lose the sense that we are alone. Yeah, that's our reality right now. And sometimes we just don't want to experience that because we are so afraid of being alone. But actually, this space can give us a lot of clarity of what we want. It can give us more creativity. It can give us a sense of belonging to ourselves, of self love. But we have to be quiet to experience that. We have to turn our cell phones down. We have to stop watching the news 24 hours a day. And we have to be silent and pay attention on our breath. So I think in this pandemic time, two things that meditation can provide to us is a deep understanding of how we are feeling, truly feeling, and learning how to be friends with ourselves, how to use this alone time that some people are having, to understand who am I, what I want, and what do I need to be, to feel calm, to feel okay, just with myself.
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And any of the watchers, like participants, if you have any questions, please type in the chat. I can see them for going up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Please don't be
yeah.
shy and any
Yeah, yeah, you
questions.
can ask questions. Yeah, let us know if you've ever meditated before, if this is something new,
Actually, it's a
if it
good
makes sense.
idea. If anybody in the participants audience, if you ever meditated, just let us know so that we
Yeah,
can. Even if you don't have a question, they just it's good
yeah,
to have a
yeah,
little interaction, I
yeah.
guess.
Have you ever meditated?
I did. I used to meditate. I mean, I still meditate sometimes. Used to have a
Hmm.
meditation club at work, which really
Oh,
helped, I think.
yeah.
Um, Especially when I was in the office, we would walk to a conference room, meditate half an hour, and then go
Hmm.
back to. And our I guess teacher, she was like, "Don't rush back to your desks. Maybe walk slowly." And I love that. Because without meditation, we always are running, running, running to the conference room, to the desk, anywhere. And it's like, just walk slowly and enjoy the life.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, we
Hmm.
continued a bit on the Zoom after the pandemic hit, so we weren't able to go to the office. And
Hmm.
we were meditating over Zoom. I think it's kind of finished now, but I try to do online, like the YouTube
Hmm.
videos, and yeah, not as
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
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 not as much.
yeah. Yeah, it really helps. I think community really helps. And this was what I felt too when I started going to this center in Seattle. I started meditating in this center called the Shambhala. And I felt that when I started going there, I started deepening my practice at home too, because before I would meditate for 5 minutes and then I would forget the next day and I would
Mm,
meditate 5 minutes the other day, but I didn't really have a daily practice. And then when I started going to the Shambhala Center once a week, every Sunday, I would go there, meditate for an hour together in a group.
mm,
I started meditating more at home too. So I
right,
think that being part of a community really helps. And I think you
definitely.
start listening to other people too, what are their experiences and for how long they've been meditating. So I think this inspire you as well to to keep working in
Definitely.
your home.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It gives a sense of community. I see Tulin says, I'm meditating on a regular basis and love it. It frees your mind, and I can remember tiny details from my childhood. So I guess meditation changes your brain and you can
Yeah.
remember things. It's I think that happened to me too. I was like, whoa, why am I remembering that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so beautiful. And it does. I was doing a little research before the live to see what, the technical terms in science, and they
Mm,
are finding amazing things about our brains and the different states that we are in when we are meditating. And one very interesting discovery they did was that when you are meditating in a regular basis, the gray matter in your brain increases.
oh,
And
wow.
in the beginning, they were not sure of what this meant, but it actually makes your memory better. It loosens your connection with the anxiety center in your brain, the amygdala. So it makes us naturally calmer during the day. And what else did I see here? I even wrote here a few things. Oh, yeah. So they say about the gray matter that it can lead to more positive emotions, longer lasting emotional stability, and heightened focus during the daily life. So I think these are amazing things to have, right? And you don't need to take any medication, any vitamins for that. You just need to sit in silence every day
That's
and
free.
hear,
Anybody can do it.
hear your thoughts. Yeah, yeah. It's very
Yeah,
simple, but I think with many simple things in life, it's not easy to establish the practice. Yeah, so I
yeah.
think it's
That is true. I was very surprised how hard it was just to silence my mind. It just wants to talk,
yeah,
talk, talk, talk,
yes, right. And some people say that like, oh, I can't meditate because when I sit, my mind will not go quiet. So people think that meditation is this thing that you sit and you are magically not thinking. And that's definitely not what meditation is. Meditation is you sit in a non-judgmental, in a very kind state of mind, and you just listen to whatever happens. You are just present there. You are not trying to change anything. You are not trying to manipulate anything. You are just an observer of your own mind. So sometimes, if we are thinking, we start this big dialogue inside ourselves, like, oh, I want to go to the grocery store and maybe I will buy this and that. And then comes another voice like, no, you're not gonna buy this. If you buy that chocolate, you're gonna eat all in once and blah, blah, blah. And we start this talking, right? When we are meditating, we just hear the thought. It's like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store and I'll buy chocolate. No, maybe not buy chocolate. Oh, when in my childhood I play basketball. Oh, my husband is not arriving from work. And all these thoughts are coming and going, and you don't know the reason why they are doing this, but they are just doing their thing, and you are just observing. And this is meditation because you are learning, what am I thinking? And we are thinking all day, all this random stuff, but this makes who we are. And
Mm-hmm.
if we are not paying attention on those things, we don't really know, right? We are just reacting, reacting, reacting.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't think that way. It's a good way to think.
yeah.
Elif says, I've been doing yoga for a while. It helps a lot. As you said, end of yoga, we are listening in silence. How yoga and meditation work together? Can you explain? Because
Hmm.
she wants to know how yoga and meditation works
So
together.
yoga is a form of meditation.
Mm,
Is a form of movement meditation. There are many ways to meditate, and there is this type of yoga called Vinyasa yoga that is very evident that you are meditating and moving your body at the same time. Because in every moment, in every movement, you have to breathe in, and then you change the movement and you breathe out. And all the movements are made in a way to awaken your body and oxygenates like the entire system, so you are deeply aware of everything that is happening within yourself. So meditation is a very good way to yoga is a very good way to
right.
meditate. Yeah. I think in the United States the practice of meditation of yoga became a lot like exercise,
Mm,
but the more traditional way is not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be a way to connect your body with your mind in a very profound way.
mm. I guess this
So
type of yoga, vinyasa, is more meditation-like, but um, I guess the other types of yoga, it's actually more energetic. It's not really
yeah,
yoga, but it's yoga inspired exercise. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. But traditionally, yoga is a type of meditation and is a very long path that you understand your body and your mind and you try to connect both in a very beautiful way.
wonderful. Isabella says, Isabella Kaur, I'm committing myself to meditate every day right after I do yoga when I wake up. It's amazing how I can deal better with the challenges of life. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Meditation heals
Um,
depression. Asia's touch. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name.
uh-huh.
Meditation heals depression when it's done the right way with time. So yeah, if the depression, I guess it's especially around 2020, 2021, this pandemic times and the loss
Yeah,
of change. That yeah.
yeah, yeah. Meditation really can help you deal with anxiety, with depression. It can enhances your creativity. It can improve your memory. It can help you deal with stress in a more efficient way. So it's a very powerful tool. It's not going to give you all of that if you only meditate 5 minutes a day, but it's a very important first step. The
Mm-hmm.
first step is the first 5 minutes. and then you do other 5 minutes, and then one day you decide to do 10 minutes, and you are going to slowly allow your body, allow your mind to enter this state that they call theta state. Theta. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to pronounce very well in English, but it's a state in your mind that you were deeply relaxed, that you were not firing all your neurons with all this information. You were just breathing in, focusing on one thing. And this is really where the magic happens. But you need to be in that state for, not just 5 minutes to feel all these amazing results, right? But it is a practice that you develop over time. And I think in my experience, I was meditating for like 5, 10 minutes, half an hour for a good 2 years until I got to a point where I was okay, I'm ready to dive deeper into this. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was when I took the first retreat and I was meditating for many hours, and I noticed how it can really change your mind state and the way you perceive reality.
Wonderful. So you suggest if you nobody somebody watching us never done meditation, just start with 5 minutes and then see what
Yeah,
happens after that.
yeah, exactly. Start with 5 minutes. And I think one very beautiful thing about meditation, and I think this is very well translated by this phrase that you are making friends with yourself, is that when we are sitting, we are that the teachers, the mentors, they tell us just listen to your thoughts. And and while you are meditating, you are always focusing on one thing, and it's usually your breath. So you are constantly focusing on your breath. Your breath is your anchor. It brings you back to your body, brings you back to the present moment. So when you get lost in your thoughts, because this happens all the time, right? We get lost in your thoughts. You remind yourself very kindly, very gently to go back to your thought. And this already teaches something very important to us, because sometimes the way we talk with ourselves is very mean. We are
Mm-hmm.
very mean with ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes we talk very angrily with ourselves. And I think meditation also teaches us just to, and we can translate this to life, right? Oh, I need to write a paper and I'm not writing this paper. And then my mind is just like, see how bad you are. You are not writing this paper. See, you are so lazy. You are procrastinating. And then we are losing all this time talking about bad about ourselves to ourselves. And meditation, the only thing you need to say is go back to your breath
Mm-hmm.
very kindly, very gently. And then you are right there back to your breath. And then you wander off again. And when you notice, when you become aware of that, you tell very kindly to yourself, go back to the breath. And this is a very important practice to remember us to come back to the present moment, because our lives are there, right? That's why, like I started talking in the beginning, the present is where we live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Otherwise, mind goes to features like, oh, what am I gonna do? Or goes back,
Yeah,
oh, why did I do that? And it's always pulling
yeah,
forward and
yeah,
backward, forward and backward. It's just tiring.
yeah, yeah. They call it a monkey mind.
Oh.
We are we are going like from one branch to the other all the time. They also say, and I find this analogy very beautiful, that our minds is like wild horses,
Mm.
and to make friends with them, we have to slowly tame the horse. So if we try to go there, if we try to meditate, it's like, okay, I will get this wild horse and I will jump on them and they will behave. What will they do? They will kick us in the face, right? they were they are wild. So what they say in meditation is that we have to slowly get closer to this wild horse just by observing it, just observing it. And then we learn the ways it behaves. We learn the dance, and then we start getting closer to it. And then we can, tame it. Then use this force of focus, of creativity to our benefit. But we have to start just observing, just getting to know it better. And this is what meditation can do for us. It can help us to understand our minds.
Hmm. Yeah. Tulin says, deep and long breaths tell your body you're safe. I believe it's super for our immune system too. Yes, meditation also helps with the immune. I guess immune body's immune system, and yeah, it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I heard, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and it makes sense because if the practice of meditation decreases anxiety and stress, and we know for a fact that our immune systems get shut down when we are very stressed, because we are in a fight or flight mode, right?
Mhm.
If we are not in this state anymore, our immune system gets normalized, gets in the homeostasis state. So that's the way how meditation improves, is like a secondary um, thing that happened, right? Because of
Yeah,
the decreases of stress
stress.
and
Yeah,
anxiety.
yeah, and it's great for pandemic when we are
Right?
actually away from
Exactly.
a sickness. It's like hiding. So it's
Yeah,
better having a better immune system is like something we
right.
need right now.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
everyone, if you joined recently, or yeah, we're chatting about meditation, and if you have any questions, just type in the chat. Yeah, it says we are sending positive energy to the world. Yes, that's a great way to
uh,
think about.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Dilek asks, oh, by the way, I also want to ask how you met Dilek, but she has a question. Our ego is the wild horse, is that she's asking if the our ego, or I think she said mind, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, Good question. I don't know if it's only the ego. I think in a meditation state, what we do is get our ego and put it aside,
Mm,
and then hear what our minds is trying to tell us in a whole, as a whole, because the ego, it's the structure, right? Freud was the one who gave it the name of this
mm,
structure, that is kind of a mask. The ego is the mask that we use to deal with people and to manage all these little voices that we have inside our head, the little devil and the little angel.
mm.
um, the
On the
ego is
shoulder.
the one that is kind of, okay, I'm going to get that chocolate, or no, I'm not. The ego is the one that is relating all these emotions and feelings and craziness that we have inside ourselves with the world. World. It's a very difficult word for me to say. So when we are meditating, we are kind of trying to dissolve our ego in a way, because we
Mm,
are trying not to manage all those voices. We are just observing them. So the ego doesn't have a lot to do in that moment. So in this way, we are kind of dissolving the ego.
mhm.
Make
Wow.
sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just yeah. I guess I don't know if Dilek can chime in if the this makes sense to her too.
Yeah.
How did you meet with Dilek? Going back to the original the
Yeah,
introduction
yeah.
kind of part.
I'm trying to remember what was the first time we met, but I think we connected on the social media. I think it was
Mhm.
Facebook.
Okay.
Um, and then we met for a coffee, and then she told me about Turksha and everything she was doing. And I work a lot with the Brazilian community in Seattle.
Mhm.
So once we did a workshop in the library, and it was really cool. And then we kept in touch. And then I was traveling here and there, but every time I went back to Seattle, we would be in touch, and sometimes we would go for a coffee or something. Yeah.
Where are you right now? You're not in
Right
Hawaii?
now, no, no, no. So as I told you, my husband and I, we
Mhm.
self-converted a van.
Right.
So we are living in an RV and we are traveling. And right now we are in the border between New Mexico and Texas and
Wow.
Mexico. And yeah, because of the pandemic, we had changed a lot our plans. We were planning also to visit the cities and, see
Mm-hmm.
concerts and things. But right now we are mostly in nature, which is
Mm-hmm.
being beautiful. And it was getting colder, so that's why we are down close to the border because here is
Like the
much
birds.
warmer and sunnier. Yeah, we are migrating like the birds. And it's been beautiful because I've been getting to know a very different United States.
Mm-hmm.
Very natural. We crossed the Nevada desert, we went to the Death Valley National Parks, and they told us to distance, right? We are really distancing ourselves from
Right.
everybody. Uh, but we are camping in nature mostly. So it's been a very beautiful journey through the desert. We've been mostly, since we left in June, we've been mostly in the desert in the United States. So we crossed the Nevada, we went to Utah and the national parks over there,
Mm-hmm.
to Zion National Park, and we went to Arizona and stayed there, close to the canyons, very beautiful. And now we are here in the border between Mexico, Texas, and New Mexico. Very different, very, very different than Seattle, but very beautiful too. It has a very different kind of beauty. More
Oh,
sky, you see a lot of sky because there are not so many mountains here, not so many trees. So the sky becomes really
oh,
big
wow.
because you can see it in the like 360, and it's very sunny here. We've been here for almost a month, a little bit over a month, I guess, and it rained once. So
Can't imagine that here.
right,
It's
yeah,
fully
very,
rainy
very
right
different.
now. Oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it must be a perfect spot for meditations, like something
Yes,
like
yes,
open. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah.
It's very it's so interesting, the power of nature. And I was doing some research before, as I told you, and they were saying that when you are walking in nature, it naturally helps you to get into that meditative state
Mm-hmm.
because or your senses, because we are very overstimulated in this modern society, right? We have lights everywhere and information and advertising coming to our eyes everywhere. And when we are in nature, we hear the birds and you see a leaf going down into the ground, and then you see the ground, and then you see an animal, and it's just much more softened, not just to your eyes, but to your all your senses. And this is really really helpful to our bodies and to bring us back to equilibrium. So if you
Right.
don't like meditating and you think it's too hard, go for a walk in nature and turn off your phone, turn off your smartwatch for a second, and turn off your music and just walk in nature and try to observe your surrounding, and
Yeah.
it's gonna put you in a very good state for sure.
Like a meditation, just a meditation by
Exactly.
walking around.
Yeah.
Um, I guess 140. If you like to do a guided meditation session,
Mm-hmm.
where how long are you planning to? It's like
I think of 5 to 10 minutes, something
sounds good.
really, really easy.
All right. So
I don't
yes,
want to traumatize you guys with 1 hour of sitting in pain for the first time.
yeah, especially for newcomers, it's like a short
Yes,
and easy
yes,
one.
exactly. So, there is one thing that it's really nice that this center that I used to go did. Every time there was someone new, they had like a small room and they would take them there and tell some basics about meditation, what it is, how do you meditate, how do you sit. There is a way that will help you, right? So this is what we are going to do right now. I will just guide you through how to sit and meditate. And before I do that, I just want to let you guys know that I will share after with Burku, and I think you can share in the page the some apps that you can all use to
Mm.
meditate. This place that I went to, this 10-day silence and meditation retreat, and this meditation center that I used to go in Seattle. So if you are interested in knowing more about meditation and getting help and mentorship in your practice, you can find on those links. Um, but now we can start, and I will ask you, if you are driving, please don't do this. If you are driving or if you are cooking or something, like turn off your burners and sit in a comfortable position. So this is something important. I don't recommend to meditate laying down unless you want to fall asleep. But meditation, I love this thing that they say, strong back and soften and open heart. So this is kind of the posture you want to get. And if you are comfortable sitting crossed leg, you can sit cross leg. If you feel more comfortable in a chair, you can sit in a chair. But try not to relate so much on the back of the chair. Try to put your back straight, your shoulders relaxed, your neck straight, but not hardened. So this is something interesting to try to put our body into, in this state of aware of where my body is. My muscles are strong. I feel them, but in a very gentle way. I'm not like
Mm.
tense and I'm I'm straight, but I'm soft at the same time. Strong back and open heart. And then I relax my shoulder, I relax my neck. And if I feel comfortable, I close my eyes. If I don't feel comfortable, I just lower my gaze and look ahead in a very open, gentle kind of look. I'm not focusing on anything, I'm just with my eyes open. But if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. And then start paying attention on your breath. Feel the air coming in and coming out. There comes in and out. You don't need to do a deep breath, just observe the breath as it is. Your body knows how to breathe. You don't need to do anything but observe. Now notice the pause between the inhale and the exhale. Your body naturally pauses and exhale, and it pauses and inhale. Now notice if the temperature of the air changes when you inhale and then you exhale. Notice the air comes out a little bit warmer. Notice any sensation on your nostrils. They expand when you inhale and they contract when you exhale. Notice what happens inside your nostrils, inside your nose when you breathe. I will be in silence for more or less 3 minutes. And I would like you to keep paying attention, keep noticing your breath, the air that comes in and comes out. And if your mind wanders, once you notice it, just tell yourself to go back to the breath. Keep inhaling and exhaling. And now start noticing your body, your feet, your hands. Move them a little bit. Open and close your hands. Stretch your feet. Move your shoulders, your neck. Start noticing your body. And when you are ready, if you are with your eyes closed, you can open your eyes.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. How was it, Burko?
It was nice. I don't know if you guys can hear. My husband is talking with with
No.
his work Zoom, so I was
Uh-huh.
a little worried about it. I was like, oh my God, it was hearing. And then it's like, yeah, well, that's what Nachi mentioned, that you can't control everything. So just I relaxed after that. It's like, okay, I should accept that there will be noise, there will be things
Yeah.
happening that I can't control. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So as you were saying, it was not that peaceful experience, right? You were telling that you felt some anxiety coming up, like, oh, are they listening to him? He's talking.
Yeah.
People maybe are not hearing like the silence,
Hmm.
right? But then this other voice, right, that we were mentioning, like, oh, I should just accept. Is everything
Yeah.
okay? I'm not in control of everything. And I think this voice gets stronger when we meditate.
Hmm.
And and this is what helps us be more calm. Like, okay, I cannot control this. Just keep paying attention on my breath. This is the only thing I can control right now,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, so that's really
And
awesome. Thank you for sharing.
and people mentioned that they like Dilek and Elif they didn't hear, so
Yeah,
sometimes I worry
so
is just doesn't come to real. Like it's just a worry that I had, and yeah.
exactly, exactly. It's just a worry.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's an amazing example.
Yes, it's as
Yeah,
if that is supposed to happen to give a good example
yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah. And Elif Sakin said I was listening ocean sound in my mind.
That's
That's
beautiful.
really nice. Yeah, and I think that's something that we can do a lot with guided meditation. We can guide ourselves to a place where we feel calm, to a memory that brings
Mhm.
us joy. And we can do this with meditation as well. We can use it as a tool. It's like, oh, I'm feeling very stressed right now. Let me close my eyes for a second and imagine that I'm in that beach in my country that I really love, that I used to go there and sit and feel the sun on my skin. And while I'm imagining that, I'm bringing to myself, to the present moment, that calming feeling, that pleasurable feeling that I once experienced, and that it is inside myself. And as I can worry, I can also take my mind to a calming state. We have this power, so it's very nice to know that you were listening to ocean sound. This is probably something really soothing and pleasurable to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Okay.
much, Nachi, for sharing
Yeah.
with us, sharing
Thank you.
your meditation journey, and yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you, and thanks,
Thank you.
audience, everyone, and Tukcha for letting us do this. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope to see you maybe sometime, maybe in Seattle,
Hope to
maybe
see you
somewhere else.
too. Yeah. Yeah. I have my gong here. I love
Oh,
this song. And in meditation, they say that the Om song is the song of the universe, of the force of the universe. And that is a song that binds everything together. So I will hit the gong so you can hear the
oh,
song
yes,
of the
please.
universe and we can finish with that. How does that sound? Good.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay.
Please.
So thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dilek.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.